And that's what I have to say to America. Aren't you tired? Mm-hmm. Aren't you tired of being embarrassed? Aren't you tired of not having anybody hear the desires or your problem? Aren't you tired of having to make excuses that don't make sense? Aren't you tired of things you once believed in being eroded and having to contort yourself to make? Aren't you tired?
What? D.L. Hughley is an example of you can be horrific, a total hack, and still keep getting opportunity after opportunity. All you got to do is kiss the right, shriveled up, pasty butt. He's 60. He's been talking about politics for 20 years. And he just now figured out this country ain't what he thought it was. He need to chase a semi and catch it with his face. I mean, if you've been doing something for 20 years and you just now figured out what you was doing was a waste of time, we're good at you. We should never listen to you again about anything.
Aren't you tired of things you once believed in being eroded and having to contort yourself to make? Aren't you tired? It's an exhausting thing to have to retell yourself stories you know don't make sense.
He should not have such courage. He's got liquid courage. How else do you explain a guy who was pressing us out and trying to shame us into voting for Kamala Harris? How else do you explain a guy who was pushing you to vote for somebody who 4 years earlier couldn't win in a single electoral vote, and then for some reason becomes the nominee 4 years later without any election process at all, burns through damn near $2 billion. And then when she loses, you blame us. She went up against a guy who won the last 3 Democratic primaries in his party. How could she not lose? Like, what? In what world did you think she could win? You must have thought they was going to steal the hell out of that election. Because how else could you come up with that conclusion, man? You know, I mean, unless you thought Trump was going to throw it, like Tyson threw that Jake Paul fight. But this guy keeps finding opportunities, and he's wrong about damn near everything he opens his mouth about. And nobody gets to fact check him. Nobody gets to own him. It's, you know, and he continues to do it.
It's exhausting that somebody cares more about a game than your life, or more about a ballroom than your living room, or more about a pool than your being able to pay. Like, aren't you?
Or more about drone strikes than about, I don't know, black folks getting, I don't know, tax-free school. I mean, Obama was the first half-black president. He was your friend. Kamala was the vice president, and she was your friend. And what do those two people have in common? Not trying to do a damn thing for black people. And what did you do? Kiss their ass both times. Just so you can get access. Just so you can be able to say to friends, your friends like Willie D, I know Joe, and I know Kamala. I had a trepidation situation. I was talking to Joe Biden, and I was talking to Kamala Harris, just so you could be able to do that. So you could brag in front of your friends who also want to do the same hack shit you do. Yeah, they want to be like you. And so you get to play who's the bigger sellout. Who got more stuff for selling out? You get to do that. You get to walk around, yeah. I mean, you thought you sold your soul. Psst, you should see how I did it, Don Lemon. So now him and Don Lemon, the two biggest sellouts, now they're both walking around strutting. They do a thing called DLDL. Yeah, I'm seriously on a tour called DL and DL. And the catchphrase is, nothing's off limits. Take that how you want to take it. Once upon a time, being a black comedian that does blue comedy or humor from time to time, he probably wouldn't have that be the title of his, the caption for this show. But now it is. Because he is no longer a comedian. He's something else.
And when you are tired, I suspect things will change. But I'll never forget, and it was the first time I ever looked and said, what part I played in this? Who am I in this? But the words, aren't you tired? And when America is tired enough, I suspect things will be different.
That's your guy. I know that's your guy. That's your friend.
Progressives picked Plattner So you need to replace him with somebody who is ideologically the same,
Basically
because that is what was decided. The people of Maine, the Democratic voters of Maine said, we want a progressive. They did not say they want an APAC moderate. So the Democratic Party in Maine ought to pick someone who is ideologically the same or ideologically similar as Plattner. If you don't, and the DNC shoves an APAC candidate down your throat, you have my permission to not vote for them, because the Democratic Party needs to learn that it is not vote blue no matter who. It matters who. They sometimes need to lose in order to learn. Sometimes when you lose, you learn. And I'm just telling you right now, if they put a little APAC, send Israel all the bombs, give Saudi Arabia all the money, let the UAE run over us and give Trump another plane. If they put another APAC sellout moderate in place of Graham Plattner, and they do not put somebody in who is his same ideology, you have my permission to stay your ass home. Then they will learn when Susan Collins gets 6 more years. At this point, we have to teach Democrats. We need to instruct them and teach them how to treat us. It's like being in a relationship. You got to teach people how to treat your ass.
You know, the good thing about it is 6 more years, if she gets in, she might go the way of...
The co-opt has been successful. Let me get this right. I saw somebody saying, oh, Joy Reid, she came around. Look at Joy coming around. Not so fast. Couple questions. Just questions. It's that vote blue anywho. Joy Reid, could you please explain to me your Kamala support? It's only, when that long ago? It was like a year and a half ago. You were one of those people that were shitting on people that did not like Kamala. I guess you did not give them permission not to go with Kamala, did you? Yeah? I'm just wondering. I mean, you're giving people permission to how they can vote? What you gonna do? Come get them with your stink eye? I'm trying to figure it out. What you gonna do? I mean, I love the fact that you are suddenly showing signs of somebody with ethics now that you've made, $20 million and got fired. It's always convenient when rich people lose their gravy train, then come live amongst the regular people and have to slum it. All of a sudden they adopt some of the language of the people that they're slumming with that they might be around from time to time, that they want to make money off of now. But when they were making money off of the liberals and the conservative liberals, whatever those people are, the soccer moms, the wine moms and shit, totally different story. In fact, you were calling black people bots for basically saying, if you ain't got no policies that we interested in, if you're not going to have policies that help black Americans specifically, why should we give a damn? Though you never said that to LGBTQ, you never said that to women, white women, and you never said it to the Latinos or the Asians. You never said they had any splinter groups or bot groups or any of that. You never, ever said that. That there were no AstroTurf style women's groups, feminist groups. You mean to tell me, as long as feminism has been around in this country, how it's been used to do shit like flood our system with a bunch of ideologues who think men are garbage? You mean to tell me there has never been an infiltration? No one's ever used that for bad? I mean, in the last 10 years that you had a show before you just got shit canned. Before you got shit canned, like that, like during that whole period. See, I'm just not one of these people that's going to jump up and down because you start saying something that some of these people believe. In fact, you're where I was 5, 7, 6 years ago. I moved past that. I'm somewhere else, man. That ain't even enough for me. I don't give a shit if someone's progressive. I care about how that impacts my life. That's all I care about. Because at the end of the day, just because somebody progressive, so was FDR. And you know what? The bulk of those efforts helped white folks. So that's not enough for somebody to just say, oh, you're really progressive. And yeah, it does matter if someone's a Nazi. It does. Grant Plattner hadn't actually done anything for anyone. He just talked. He didn't put forth, Grant Plattner had not put forth a single piece of legislation. We know this because he's not a politician. So he hadn't actually done shit. Nothing. Zero, zilch. He just talked. And I can't hold that against him because he wasn't an elected official. But we got people that were willing to support a guy with a Nazi tattoo on his chest who said some pretty horrible things about black people on Reddit back when he was just a regular guy. Like, why black people don't never tip? Why black people do this? Why? What's wrong with black people? With his whole white ass talking about what's wrong with black people. Why wasn't he putting down what's wrong with white people? He's white. That's how you can tell. You know, you can tell these people are full of it. It's a fixation on blackness. Until we say we need stuff for our communities, and then all of a sudden, we get benign neglect. Everybody focus on black people until it's time for black people to say, okay, we got a demand, and then everybody goes, huh? What's that? I don't even see color. I don't know how I put this shirt on today. I don't even know what color is this mic cover? I have no idea. I can't tell because I don't believe in colors. That's what's wrong with you people. You're focused on color. Nah, man, I'm not going to be somebody that kisses Joy Reid's ring because she said something that was somewhat acceptable for somebody stuck in the 2016s. I mean, we've been saying that since 2016. You want to act like she just got religion? You don't think she heard that spiel back in 2016 when people were going, Hillary, pah, pah, Hillary, hell no, pah. You don't think she knew about that ideology that, hey, forget this no vote blue anywho shit? She heard about it 10 years ago and rejected it because it didn't jive with her paycheck. It didn't jive with her wallet. It didn't jive with her friends. And as she says it, and a bunch of you clapping seals act as if she's amazing because of it. And I don't find her amazing. I find her a self-serving opportunist. What has she sacrificed? You can't tell me something you sacrificed. And what you're telling me don't mean shit, because until you have to sacrifice for your convictions, until then, how do I know they real? You know what I'm saying? How can I trust it? But Joy, I want to thank you, Joy, for giving us po-folk permission to do shit we already weren't going to do, which is vote for one of these dead-eyed liberals. We already weren't going to do that. But thank you, Joy, for telling us we are free to do what we was already going to do before your Congolese ass got up on here, and I don't know who she was talking to. All right, man. The part about it are the people that we share oxygen and space in a country with people who are dumb enough to buy that from her. They're that desperate to have what they think come out the mouth of one of the gunslingingest hacks in corporate media has ever had. They're that desperate that they feel validated through that. It took that to validate them. Pathetic. Pathetic.
No filters, just the truth.
Catch Tim Black live on the most dangerous show in America, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. Don't miss out on the real. Stay dangerous.